Snap straight.
Yes, sir!
Put on chocolate.
Okay, sir! Oh, my phone also. Basket, you're recording! What's up, guys, and welcome back. And this episode is gonna be a review of my Oceania trip. I'm gonna be going through step by step the things that I've learned, and I hope you guys will learn a thing or two as well. So I hope this video doesn't bore you out, but give you useful tips that you can bring along to your next powerlifting meet. So let's begin. Yeah! Alright, so I'm pretty satisfied with my training cycle, and this training cycle is done by Say. So a special thank you to him. And you know, moving on to the meet, I think I picked pretty well and I tapered pretty well. And my energy levels and you know, even my macros were on point. What I did was I ensured that my weight was going on point by starting 10 weeks out. So I was counting macros 10 weeks out leading into the meet. So I was I had really a lot of time to play with, and I had a lot of cheat days or meals leading up to my competition. So that is something that I really think that it's a great thing to do, starting early with your diet instead of panicking last minute. Alright, so the next thing that I want to talk to you guys about is about the airplane trip. So if you guys know, I actually flew Emirates, so that's pretty good, and they provide food and all. So the problem isn't with the food, but it's the problem with the food they serve. So at that point of time, I was actually water loading already, so they were serving a lot of carbs and protein was not enough. So as you guys know, leading up to the meet, what you want to do is you want to drop your carbs so that your water levels will actually go down, so that you won't retain as much water. That's for powerlifting but not bodybuilding, alright? So that happened, and I was also not accessible to big amount of water, and I was asking the flight attendant for, hey, can I have another cup? Can I have another cup? And she actually was nice enough to provide me with two 1.5 liter bottles. So it was my luck. So if you guys are flying and you are water loading, you guys gotta be more aware of that. Yeah. So you can bring empty bottles and fill it up, but I don't think the flight attendant will give you like 2.5 bottles. Yeah. So that was the plane trip, and Meng Ting actually experienced a little bit of problems because she is somebody that is very sensitive to carbs. So she ate the carbs and like her weight blew up. So that is something that you guys should be concerned about, and yeah. Alright, so the next thing that I will be telling you guys is about the food. It's very important to know where you can get your food and your resources. We were lucky because okay, not we, but Meng Ting actually researched beforehand, and we knew where to go right on the spot, and we don't waste time and stuff. So that is very important, because if you are cutting sodium the very last day, it's very important to cook your own meals. And that brings me to the place you stay, right? I was lucky and I was blessed to actually have myself staying at a studio apartment compared to a hotel. I don't know if hotels, they actually allow you to cook, or do they have like a stove. So make sure your place that you stay in has a stove, and that will actually save you a lot of trouble, I guess. And yeah, next thing is the refeed. So this time I actually experienced some cramps. The past two competitions, my very first competition, schoolyard meet, I actually experienced cramps as well. And the second meet, SPI, I did not experience any cramps. And finally, Asia and Oceania, I experienced some cramps. So, I'm still figuring out how I can, you know, how much is the sodium level that I need. So hopefully, if I know how to do it, I'm gonna like ask around and you do a little bit more research on why I cramp up, and hopefully the next few meets that wouldn't happen. Or it might be inevitable, so that is something that you have to be aware about. The next thing is what kind of food you want to refeed with. It's very important that you are up in carbs, and just primarily eating carbs, because I think if I have too much protein or fat, I mean, it can be in the diet, but if you're having too much protein and fat, it actually slows down digestion and you actually feel a little bit sleepy. So also in between attempts, make sure you are also eating, so you don't experience any crash from the carbs in your eating. That is one useful tip, I guess, that I recently found out. So eat in between your attempts, especially when you, let's say you finish your squat, eat, and then when you finish your bench, eat, and then, yeah, deadlifts. Alright guys, so now it comes to the best part, the squat, bench, and deadlifts. Let's begin with the squat, and I am pretty happy with how my squat went. As you guys know, I actually set the Asian record, which I didn't expect myself to, but I'm just really blessed that that happened. Anyway, something that happened in the warm-up room was really crazy, and when I was walking out with 140, it felt really heavy, and my mind actually went all sorts of places. You know, I thought about, oh man, how am I gonna do it for the very first attempt? And then I started panicking. And when I moved up to 160, which is my second last warm-up, I guess, or is my last warm-up, I actually went down. And when I came up, my bar hit the tiang. I mean, the rack. So I actually dropped the bar and scraped Say's knee. And that moment was pretty insane, but Say managed to calm me down and told myself, okay, and told me that, okay, relax. What you want to do now is just focus on your technique and don't care about how it feels and all, and everything will be fine. So that's one tip for you guys when you guys are warming up, especially when it comes to your squats. You know, sometimes it may feel heavy, but what you need to focus on is focus on your technique instead of worrying and, you know, panicking. So big breath. That's what Say does to keep me, you know, my heartbeat and, you know, my emotional level and my nerves under control. So I hope you guys will make well with those two tips. Number one, work on your technique. Number two, deep breath and let out. Deep breath and let out and calm your nerves. As long as you manage to make the first attempt, that nervousness will definitely go down. So a couple of things that I use on the platform to allow myself to calm my nerves down is to shout. But of course, you don't want to be walking around and shouting and wasting your energy. So what you want to do is just, come on! And just go under the bar, get ready, get tight, and squat. Alright, and the very first squat, it's really important to sink deep so that the judges will know that, hey, actually you squat to depth. If you don't squat deep, you know, the judges will, when they rate like you, and they look at you, they're gonna remember you, hey, that guy is the one that never squat deep. So that is something that they will look out for. So the very first squat, bury that squat. And that's all I have for the squats for now. And let's move on to the bench. Alright, so let's move on to the bench. And I'm actually quite disappointed because Squat Meat, I benched 105. SPI, I benched 100. And Oceania, I benched 105. So in like 6 months or 8 months, somewhere around that time frame, I did not improve on my bench. What's happening? I really don't know. But anyway, on the platform, what actually happened is my legs cramped up, and that actually screwed me over because I wasn't confident whether I was going to have a good leg drive. But one thing that I can tell you guys is do not care about the cramping. Just focus on your technique because it's gonna be there, it's gonna irritate you, but if you focus on that irritation, it's gonna cause you your lift. So focus on your technique, don't focus on the pain or whatever that is, you know, yeah, or the cramping up. I mean, if it's pain and it'll cause you injury, okay, think long term, right? But if it is cramping, it's just temporary, focus on your cues and your technique. Okay, so next up is the 110 bench attempt. I might have figured out something that I did wrong, and I'm gonna be doing a whole new different video about it. And yeah, anyway, 110 was fast. I mean, off the bottom, it was boom, really fast. But I sort of like didn't have like a drive to grind the top part. It was just a very minor part, as you guys can see. So I found a way. So hopefully the next few videos will actually give you better tips. Alright, so that's it for the bench press. Alright, it's finally the deadlifts. Do I even deadlift, bruh? As you guys know, I've actually pulled 220 during training, and I only pulled 207 during Oceania. So I could have possibly wrapped that out. But yeah. So let me focus on what I actually did wrong. I actually switched my shoes last minute from sabos, from my chucks to my sabos, and that actually threw me off pretty bad. Initially, during the warm-up room, when I was in the warm-up room, I felt okay, the sabos was okay, so I thought, okay, let me just use the sabos. But I've only trained with it once. So there's one major thing that you should not do. Don't ever change things up last minute, be it your reps, be it your, you know, whatever that you use during training. Do not wear your singlet only on the meet day. Use it and train with it so that you're used to wearing it, so that it won't throw you off. And your belt, do not switch things up, right? So that's one thing that is really important. The second thing that I made a mistake with is I was actually cramping, and what I did was I focused on the cramp again, and I actually pulled differently. I did not pull with the technique that I pulled with during training, and you know, yeah, so don't change things up last minute. So that's something that is very important, especially, you know, when it comes to your technique. So I focused on the cramp again. I did not focus on my technique, and that actually threw me off. That allowed me to tip forward. I mean, I don't know if it's the cramping of my calves, I don't know if it's the changing of the technique, I don't know if it's the changing of the shoes, but these three factors that can affect you when it comes to your lifts. So make sure you guys don't make these mistakes, and I think that this lesson will stay with me forever. Anyway, the third attempt for the deadlifts was 207.5, and I know that I tipped forward and I tipped backward. So what I chose to do, and what advised me to do, was to bring my legs in a little so that I have a better center of gravity. You know, I bring it in so that I'll be more stable, and I actually turn in my toes. So that actually allowed me to pull that 207. I mean, this can be one of the best meets that I have, because who would have thought somebody that has failed the first 2 attempts and has an Asia record on the line to make the 3rd attempt. So I think that I'm really blessed and really thankful that I, you know, had the prior experience to calm my nerves down, to focus on the things that I have back in those badminton days in the past served me well, because, you know, I know how to calm my nerves when things get tight. I know how to regulate my emotions. So yeah, I'm really thankful for that. And alright, so this comes to the very end of the video, and a couple of other tips that I would like to give you guys is to enjoy yourself. If this is your first meet, don't be so stressed out, you know, calm your nerves, enjoy the occasion, feel the weight. It's just like training, and you know, it's just there for you to showcase all the preparation that you have done. So don't go in there and, you know, stress out and, you know, bomb out, and you know, not focusing on the cues and the technique, and in the end focusing on the crowd, and focusing on, you know, things that can make you stress and not perform well. So don't crack under pressure. Most of the time, what makes someone that wins and makes someone that doesn't win is about handling that pressure. We can see that from Meng Ting's category. You know, Meng Ting did not have very big lifts, but she managed to make all her attempts, right? But what actually happened is a couple of girls bombed out. So this is something that we have to take away, is don't be so stressed out, okay? And, you know, pick your attempts wisely, be safe than sorry. So yeah, if you guys do not have a coach, then, you know, rather go for something that you can do for a triple for your very first attempt. So just be safe, right? Get yourself in the game so that you can be in the game, right? No matter how strong you are, if you don't get yourself in the game, you are not winning anything, right? So be safe on the first attempt and enjoy the occasions. Alright, so another thing that you guys gotta pay attention to is the commands, right? A lot of times people don't train with the commands. Train with the commands leading up to the meet. I mean, it should be innate. It should be in you, right? The commands should be in you. So when you start, press, rack. It should be in you. When you take it out, wait for the squat command, right? When you deadlift, don't waste time. Just go there, sit up, pull, because they're not gonna ask you to start, right? So these are a couple of things that you guys gotta keep in mind. And also, different countries, if you are at like overseas countries or like countries with different accents, you know, sometimes they may call the start like stop, press, rack, right? I mean, get used to it, right? Stop, press, rack! Some people are more dynamic, so don't be thrown off by this. And all you gotta do is just gotta be confident with your technique, right? Be confident with your lifts. Do not let all these little factors affect you. Just be aware that they are gonna be there, but focus on the technique and your lifts. So I wish you guys an awesome experience when you guys are gonna be competing, be it Singapore Public Open or whatever country you guys are in, if I do have subscribe from other countries. Yeah, so enjoy yourselves, man. Don't stress out and keep improving, keep crushing your PRs, and I wish you guys all the best. Peace out and see you guys soon.